My wife, Emily, is what you would call the ideal woman. She's quiet, kind, and drop-dead gorgeous. Truly any man's dream. It's no wonder I fell for her the moment I laid eyes on her. Emily always acted in what I thought was a shy manner. She wasn't big on cuddling and only kissed me on rare occasions. We both came from devout Christian families in a part of the country that takes religion very seriously. However, unlike my family, her parents were the type who followed the holy doctrine to the letter. They were very strict about their religious beliefs, and as a result, Emily developed a very traditional mindset about religion and the role of women. I always figured that her reserved behavior was a product of that upbringing. There are times when I think she resembles a robot. She's pleasant and kind to everyone she meets, but I've occasionally caught her sitting silently, staring off into space like she's not there. Over the years, I saw this as a normal part of her personality. She refused to see a psychologist and would always say that this is just the way she was. That was until about 2 months ago, when everything changed. Emily discovered that her best friend from high school, Sarah, was moving back to our town. I had never seen her so excited and full of life. I felt genuinely happy for her, thinking she needed a good female friend to connect with. Emily, who usually preferred to stay home, suddenly started going out as much as possible once Sarah arrived. It felt as though Emily had undergone a profound transformation, albeit in a positive light. Her demeanor radiated with newfound vitality and enthusiasm, and I couldn't help but notice the genuine joy that danced across her face, particularly when she regaled tales of her encounters with Sarah over coffee. Despite my initial reservations, I am convinced that there's no romantic entanglement between them. Emily's ineptitude at deception is well documented, and her conduct towards me remains unchanged. However, I'll admit, a twinge of jealousy crept in recently. It unsettled me to witness how Sarah's presence seemed to monopolize Emily's attention and infuse her with such unwavering cheerfulness. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, I perused Sarah's Facebook profile a few days ago. To my surprise, several of her photo albums were open to public viewing, and as I delved deeper, I stumbled upon a trove of snapshots capturing moments shared between Sarah and Emily during their high school years. In many of these images, their intimacy surpassed the boundaries of mere friendship. Embraces lingered a touch longer, hands intertwined, and their gazes brimmed with a tenderness that Emily has never bestowed upon me. It's a revelation that casts new light on Emily's reticence regarding certain topics, especially considering her family's overtly homophobic stance. Reflecting on past conversations, her deliberate avoidance of such discussions now appears poignant and purposeful. I find myself torn between confronting Emily and grappling with the unsettling possibility that she may harbor lingering affections for her high school sweetheart. Uncertainty clouds my judgment. Am I overreacting, or is there a genuine cause for concern? What remains unequivocal, however, is the palpable sense of joy that emanates from Emily whenever Sarah's name is mentioned. I made the decision to confront Emily regarding the photos featuring her and Sarah from our high school days. Despite the reassurances from those who commented on the post, insisting that they were just friends, I couldn't shake off my unease. Perhaps I was simply overthinking, I reasoned. However, when I presented the photos to Emily, her reaction was unexpected. She began breathing rapidly, almost as if she was on the brink of a panic attack. I managed to help her regain composure, only to be met with her frustration for having snooped into Sarah's Facebook. It was classic Emily, diverting attention away from the core issue. Refusing to be sidetracked, I pressed her to speak candidly. After several minutes of evasion, she finally divulged the truth. Emily confessed that she and Sarah had been more than just friends during high school. They had been in a clandestine relationship since kindergarten. Their love was kept hidden until Emily's parents discovered the truth, resulting in a violent intervention that tore them apart. Sarah relocated to the capital shortly thereafter, and they lost contact. Nevertheless, Emily's words and emotions made it evident that their love endured through the years. During our conversation, I noticed a shift in Emily's demeanor. She began referring to Sarah not by name, but affectionately as mi amor, a term she had never used with me in all our years together. It cut deep, highlighting the absence of such intimacy in our marriage. Questioning whether she was emotionally involved with Sarah, Emily vehemently denied any physical indiscretion, yet I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. Emily's inability to grasp the gravity of emotional betrayal only served to exacerbate our already strained relationship. In her perspective, Her actions bore no ill intent, cloaked in the innocence of her belief. The refusal of Sarah to acknowledge the sanctity of our marriage, compounded by her absence at our wedding, further underscored the intricate nature of their bond. When I mustered the courage to inquire about Emily's feelings towards me, her response pierced through my heart like a dagger. Yes, she loved me, but merely as a best friend. The crushing realization that I had been relegated to the confines of friendship by my own spouse was a bitter pill to swallow. Amidst a torrent of tears and apologies, Emily finally confessed to her deception. Our union, initially forged under the weight of familial expectations and a sense of obligation, lacked the fervor and tenderness that I had yearned for. Wrestling with a tempest of emotions, I found myself caught in the grip of anger and despair. For years, I had internalized the blame for our marital woes, believing myself to be the architect of our discord, only to uncover that my efforts were in vain. With a heavy heart and a resolute spirit, I silently departed from our shared abode, seeking refuge in the comforting embrace of my sister's home. While divorce remained unspoken, the realization dawned upon me that I could no longer endure the confines of a loveless partnership. Though the thought of wasted years gnawed at my soul, I refused to resign myself to a future devoid of reciprocated affection. This narrative serves as a vessel for the torrent of emotions that have long simmered beneath the surface. While I extend empathy towards Emily and her inner turmoil, I cannot overlook the profound anguish that festers within my own heart. It's a somber acknowledgement, yet one that demands reckoning and resolution. I returned to my house the day after my last update, and Emily was lying on the couch. The moment I walked in, the words, "We're going to divorce," just tumbled out of my mouth. Maybe that wasn't the most considerate way to say it, but I didn't want to give her a chance to steer the conversation away. She has this infuriating habit of changing the topic whenever I want to discuss serious matters, and I was determined not to let her do that this time. Emily didn't expect that. She started crying, and then she had an anxiety attack, repeating over and over that we couldn't divorce and that I couldn't do this to us. But the thing that struck me, that cut deeper than anything else, was when she said, "There's no point in us breaking up. The fact that I don't love you doesn't change anything." That hit me like a ton of bricks because, in a way, it was true. Our relationship had always been like that, her treating me just like a friend, and me accepting it, justifying it as shyness or traditional values, and convincing myself it was normal. She kept insisting she never cheated, did anything wrong. Even when I explained emotional cheating to her again, she just didn't get it. I told her that she's not even attracted to men, so there's no sense in staying married. We're just not right for each other. I asked her if she still loved Sarah, and she didn't deny it. She kept saying we shouldn't divorce. I could understand her desperation, but it made me feel used, like I was just her pathetic beard, someone she could use as a shield, a convenient facade. I felt like a dog who would always be happy with the smallest token of affection. But I don't need her signature to get a divorce, so even if she doesn't want to, we're 100% breaking up. I told her I wouldn't put her to anyone. But if people asked, I'd tell the truth while avoiding the topic of her sexuality. The vast expanse of land and the majority of the dwelling belonged to me, having been passed down through generations from my grandfather. Admittedly, some may perceive me as callous, but when confronted with the issue, I made it clear to her that I couldn't yield any portion of it, as it all rightfully belongs to me. Witnessing her crestfallen expression, tinged with a sense of resignation, stirred a pang of guilt within me. Despite her apparent distress, she chose not to voice any grievances. Aware of the gravity of the situation, I've deemed it necessary to seek legal counsel to ensure that my actions align with legal protocol. In a bid to provide some semblance of solace, I offered her temporary accommodation until December, albeit with a heavy heart, knowing that she might have to retreat to the toxicity of her parental abode. The thought gnaws at me, for I'm well acquainted with the unpleasant character of her parents. However, there's a glimmer of comfort in the knowledge that she maintains a connection with Sarah, a beacon of companionship amidst the turmoil. Our interaction culminated in an uncomfortable silence, punctuated by my abrupt departure. Presently, I find refuge in the hospitality of my sister's residence, seizing the opportunity while she and my other siblings are away attending a concert in another province. Since that fateful exchange, communication with Emily has dwindled to nil, and she has made no attempt to reach out. Yet, I am cognizant of the fact that she has disclosed the details of our impending divorce to her parents, prompting their desire to engage in discourse with me. However, I firmly asserted that such matters are strictly between Emily and myself, unwarranting external intervention. Their evident disapproval of me has long been established, further reinforcing my stance that resolving this matter remains solely within the purview of Emily and me. This will probably be my last update because I plan to cease all contact with Emily after the divorce. Fortunately, we don't have any children, which makes this separation a bit more straightforward. There were times when Emily brought up the idea of having a baby, but I always expressed that I wasn't ready. Deep down, perhaps I already sensed that she wasn't the right partner for me. As a result, we don't have any significant ties binding us together. I've been seeing a psychologist since childhood, a practice that has significantly helped me manage and channel my emotions. Many people in the comments suggested that I shouldn't have empathy for her, but the reality is that both of us are deeply affected by the trauma stemming from our religious backgrounds. I understand how profoundly such trauma can distort one's mind and heart. Despite everything, I feel a genuine sorrow for her because I recognize that she's also in pain. Some people have questioned why I stayed with Emily despite knowing she didn't love me romantically. Honestly, I don't have a clear answer. Perhaps I constantly justified her actions because I saw a kindred spirit in her. Maybe I have a hero complex, or my sense of duty is overwhelmingly strong. I felt a deep sense of responsibility to make her happy as her husband, even though she consistently rejected my romantic love. This is something I intend to explore further with my psychologist. I've also been asked why I decided to marry her in the first place. The truth is, she suggested that we should get married. And at the time, I was young and immature. We got along well, and I naively believed that if we were good friends, marriage would naturally work out. I clung to the fairy tale notion that a strong friendship was enough to sustain a marriage. Now, my primary focus is to finalize the divorce and then spend some time with my family. Overall, I feel numb and strange. Tears have yet to stain my cheeks, and in my recent therapy session, my psychologist proposed a theory that struck a chord within me. Perhaps I had already embarked on the journey of grieving the demise of our relationship long before I acknowledged it consciously. The void left behind doesn't echo the absence of a spouse, but rather the departure of a confidant, a companion who once stood by my side through life's trials and triumphs. It's not the sharp ache of a shattered heart that I endure, but rather the lingering sting of betrayal that cuts deep. Despite the hardships endured, I've come to the realization that salvaging what remains of our bond is a futile endeavor. It's a decision laden with guilt, questioning whether I'm morally remiss for severing ties with someone whose path has been strewn with adversity. Yet I've reached a point of exhaustion, drained by the futile attempts to rescue someone who doesn't aspire to be rescued. And so, with a heavy heart but a resolute spirit, I bid adieu, not to the woman who once held the title of my soulmate, but to the companion who, despite our tumultuous journey, stood as a steadfast friend for countless years. It's a farewell to a chapter of my life marked by moments of genuine connection and unwavering support, even as it hurtles towards a bitter denouement. I stand poised to embark on a new chapter, one characterized by self-healing and fortified by the unwavering love and support of my cherished family and friends. I want to clarify a few things here because I think there have been some misunderstandings and assumptions made about my situation. I never married Emily because I wanted a submissive woman. We were both like best friends, which drew me to her. Some comments have suggested that I wanted a housewife, but that couldn't be further from the truth. I offered her countless opportunities to work with me or to pursue a job or education. She never wanted to, and I didn't press the issue because we were financially stable. It was never about having her stay home, but about her happiness and finding her path. I wasn't going to open the relationship for her. Fortunately, I realized that I deserved so much better. Honestly, I had already sacrificed too many things for her to give up my own life and happiness. Maybe some people are okay with a loveless marriage, but not me. Not anymore. I deserve someone who loves me for who I am, not someone who sees me as a convenient cover for their true feelings. He should help her. He should be generous with the divorce. How do you help someone who doesn't want to be helped? I tried for years to help her, to understand her, and to support her. Now, all I keep hearing about are the horrible things she did behind my back. things I don't even want to discuss. It's exhausting. I can't keep sacrificing my well-being for someone who doesn't care about mine. It's not about being generous but protecting myself from further harm. She used you because she was afraid of coming out. I understand that fear truly. But did I deserve to be used? To have her spend my money on gifts for her best friend? No. We live in a progressive country, and one of my sisters is a lesbian and happily married. I would have supported Emily if she had been honest with me, but she chose deception over truth, and that's where my empathy runs thin. I don't deserve to be a pawn in her game of hiding her true self. We married, but she had countless opportunities to tell me the truth. Instead, she watched me struggle with insecurity and self-doubt while she insisted we should have a baby. Now I realize she wanted a child to secure her position if we divorced, knowing she never worked or studied. The realization that Emily regarded the prospect of our potential child as a mere bargaining chip rather than a cherished source of shared joy is nothing short of heartbreaking. Compounded by the knowledge that her closest friend has already embarked on the journey of parenthood with a loving spouse and newborn, it becomes painfully evident that Emily's entanglement with her friend has plunged our relationship into a deeper quagmire of complexity and turmoil. While I'm hesitant to delve into the intricacies of their dynamic, it's undeniable that Emily's unwavering attachment to her friend has inflicted significant pain and confusion upon us both. Despite Emily's vehement insistence that she remained faithful in the physical realm, the wounds of emotional betrayal run deep and fester within the recesses of my heart. I'm inclined to take her at her word regarding her fidelity, yet the scars left by her emotional infidelity remain a stark reminder of the breach of trust that has fractured our bond. Adding another layer to our tumultuous narrative is the burden of religious trauma that both Emily and I carry. It's a weight that doesn't discriminate. It seeps into the crevices of our psyche, leaving behind indelible marks that shape our perceptions and actions. However, while trauma may serve as a mitigating factor, it can never serve as an excuse for using another's life and love as a shield for one's own fears and insecurities. I've dedicated years to navigating the labyrinth of my religious trauma, striving for growth and healing, and I had hoped for a reciprocal commitment from Emily. No one coerced her into marriage. Forced marriages simply don't happen in my country. I questioned her motives for wanting to wed, and she explained that her parents urged her to seek healing and deemed me a suitable match. That's why she was so insistent on tying the knot. I believed her, eager to uphold our friendship and connection. However, in hindsight, I realize it was merely another attempt on her part to evade the truth. So for those wondering how it all concluded, I'm filing for divorce. It's a tedious and protracted procedure, but it's imperative for my own well-being. I'll retain possession of the house, the car VJ, everything. Am I being selfish? Perhaps. But I've spent far too long prioritizing her needs over mine. It's time I prioritize myself for once. Acquiring those assets was no small feat, and I poured my heart into building our home. Currently, Emily is residing with her brother. Not once did she inquire about my well-being, not even when I departed the house upon uncovering the truth. Initially, I reached out to check on her in those initial days, sending messages to inquire about her state of mind, but she showed no regard for my feelings. A few days ago, I experienced a mental breakdown due to her persistent messages, suggesting we reconcile and start a family. I never desired to have children with her, yet she persisted relentlessly. She insisted that her lack of love for me was inconsequential, that we functioned adequately without her affection, so I should continue with the marriage for her sake. This revelation made me realize she was merely attempting to manipulate me into feeling guilty. In her eyes, I wasn't even human VDGJ, perhaps not even worthy of being compared to a dog. Consequently, I blocked her number. I comprehend her anxiety stemming from her lack of stability, but I've repeatedly encouraged her to pursue her own career. Frankly, I've reached my limit with her. I'm weary of this ordeal. I've reached a point of detachment towards the choices Emily makes for her future. With the guidance of my psychologist, I've come to acknowledge and understand the narcissistic traits that permeate her actions. My focus now is on forging ahead with my own life, reclaiming the sense of worth and dignity that has been eroded by years of exploitation. While this ordeal has left me emotionally spent, it has also served as a catalyst for recognizing the paramount importance of self-value and personal fulfillment. For the first time in what feels like an eternity, I'm directing my energy towards prioritizing my own well-being. It's a pivotal shift, one that underscores my commitment to leaving behind the shackles of a loveless and deceitful marriage. Emily may choose to navigate her own path or continue to grapple with her internal struggles, but that is no longer a burden I am willing to shoulder. My allegiance now lies with myself, with my journey of healing, self-discovery, and genuine contentment. I refuse to be tethered to a dynamic where my worth is contingent upon what I can provide or conceal. This is a journey of self-redemption, one where I am determined to be cherished for who I am, authentically and unapologetically. While the road ahead may be daunting, I am prepared to tread it alone if need be, in pursuit of inner peace and the enduring glow of true happiness. I've reached a significant milestone. I am finally divorced. It's an outcome I never imagined when I first said, I do. Yet here I am, standing on the other side of a legal process that, to my surprise, concluded far more swiftly than I anticipated. In my country, all it takes is one signature to dissolve a marriage. And just like that, a chapter of my life that once felt so permanent has ended. It's remarkable how quickly the ties that bind can be severed, leaving a sense of liberation tinged with bittersweetness. As Emily came to terms with the reality of our divorce, she embarked on a campaign to complicate matters, spinning tales of infidelity and betrayal to anyone who would lend her an ear. Initially, I attempted to maintain a semblance of civility, opting for the amorphous explanation of irreconcilable differences as the cause of our split. But Emily's penchant for chaos knew no bounds, and soon, her version of events painted me as the villain in our narrative. However, I find myself strangely indifferent to her machinations at this juncture. I've expended far too much energy trying to decipher her actions, seeking logic in her labyrinthine thought processes. But now, I'm done playing her game. Emily's behavior grew increasingly erratic, culminating in uninvited home visits and a barrage of calls and messages. Faced with her relentless onslaught, I conceded, relinquishing some of the furniture and appliances, despite having footed the bill for everything myself. At that moment, I simply wanted her out of my life for good, and if appeasing her demands achieved that end, then so be it. She may have been a homemaker, but I felt she was entitled to her share in the dissolution of our union. Emotionally drained and weary, I craved closure above all else. Since our divorce, Emily has publicly embraced her true self, openly dating and cohabiting with an older woman. I can't help but wonder if she had been concealing her authentic identity from me all along. But dwelling on her deceit serves no purpose in my journey toward healing. Her life is hers, and if this newfound authenticity brings her solace, then so be it. When my sisters caught wind of Emily's new relationship, they were incensed and eager to confront her. However, I implored them to refrain from exacerbating an already volatile situation. I've unearthed unsettling truths about Emily's past transgressions, but I'd prefer not to dwell on those sordid details. Suffice it to say, I feel like a fool for ever trusting her. I genuinely hope that Emily finds the happiness she fervently sought in our marriage, shedding the shackles of discontent that bound her to me. As for her former confidant, I remain oblivious to her whereabouts. My sister maintains a tenuous connection to the woman's spouse, but they remain silent. It's a tangled web, and I have no desire to tangle myself further in its intricacies. After our divorce, I've embarked on the arduous journey of self-restoration. It's been anything but easy, but with each passing day, I draw closer to reclaiming the sense of self I once lost. I refuse to be cast as the hapless victim in this narrative. I am surrounded by a network of unwavering support, comprised of family and friends who bolster my spirit in times of uncertainty. I've begun to peel back the layers of my past, laying bare the abusive dynamics that once held sway over my life. It wasn't merely physical abuse, the emotional toll was equally debilitating. Yet I refuse to succumb to the role of the victim. I may have misled, but I refuse to allow them to define my future. In the wake of our separation, I've rekindled old friendships and forged new connections, reveling in the freedom of singlehood. Marriage may have deprived me of my youth, but I'm determined to compensate for lost time. Recently, I found companionship in another, a woman whose effervescent spirit complements my own. Our relationship is in its nascent stages, devoid of the burdensome weight of expectations. She listens to me with an attentive ear, offering solace in moments of vulnerability. It's a welcome departure from the stifling intimacy, or lack thereof, that defined my marriage. In retrospect, Emily's aversion to physical closeness masked a deeper disdain, a revelation I've come to accept in due course. Though it may seem inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, I felt compelled to share this update as a testament to my resilience. Despite the trials and tribulations, I remain steadfast in pursuing personal growth and self-discovery. Each day brings new challenges, but with the unwavering support of those who hold me dear, I press forward, unyielding in my resolve. In the months following our divorce, Emily and I diverged further, each charting a course toward a new chapter in our lives. As I settled into the rhythm of singlehood, Emily's tumultuous journey took her down unforeseen avenues, fraught with triumphs and tribulations. For Emily, the aftermath of our separation proved to be a crucible, testing the limits of her resilience and resolve. With the weight of our failed marriage lifted from her shoulders, she embraced newfound freedom with an ardor that bordered on reckless abandon. Yet beneath the veneer of liberation lay a storm of conflicting emotions, a whirlwind of uncertainty and self-doubt that threatened to consume her. In her quest for self-discovery, Emily found solace in the arms of another, a kindred spirit whose presence offered fleeting respite from the tumult of her inner turmoil. But as the initial euphoria of newfound romance waned, she grappled with the realization that true healing could not be found in the arms of another, but must be cultivated from within. As the dust settled on the wreckage of our failed marriage, Emily embarked on a journey of introspection, confronting the demons that had long haunted her psyche. In the crucible of self-reflection, she unearthed the roots of her discontent, confronting the ghosts of her past with a newfound sense of clarity and purpose. With each passing day, Emily forged ahead with unwavering determination, laying the groundwork for a brighter tomorrow. She immersed herself in pursuits that fueled her passion and nurtured her soul, finding solace in life's simple pleasures in the company of cherished friends. Yet despite the strides she made toward self-actualization, Emily's journey was not without its setbacks. There were moments of doubt and despair, when the world's weight bore down upon her with suffocating intensity. But in those darkest hours, she found strength in the resilience of her spirit, rising from the ashes of her former self with newfound resolve. As for me, the passage of time brought a sense of peace and acceptance as I forged ahead on my journey of self-discovery. In the wake of our separation, I found solace in the embrace of loved ones and the simple pleasures of everyday life. With each passing day, I emerged stronger and more resilient, empowered by the knowledge that my worth was not defined by the failures of my past, but by the boundless potential of my future. Though the scars of our failed marriage would forever linger, they served as a poignant reminder of the strength and resilience that resided within me. As our paths diverged, Emily and I found ourselves on separate trajectories, each navigating the tumultuous waters of life in search of our version of happiness and fulfillment. Though our journey together had come to an end, the lessons we learned and the memories we shared would forever shape the tapestry of our lives, guiding us toward a brighter tomorrow filled with hope and possibility. As the dust settled on the dissolution of our marriage, the lives of those intertwined with ours unfolded unexpectedly. Among them, Emily's best friend from high school, Sarah, emerged as a figure of quiet strength and resilience. In the wake of our separation, Sarah became a pillar of support for Emily, offering unwavering encouragement and companionship during her darkest hours. Though the distance between them had once seemed impossible, their bond grew stronger in the face of adversity. Despite her challenges, Sarah remained steadfast in her commitment to Emily's well-being, offering a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on whenever needed. And as Emily embarked on her journey of self-discovery, Sarah stood by her side, a beacon of light in the stormy seas of uncertainty. In the following months, Sarah's life underwent a series of transformations. Encouraged by Emily's courage and resilience, she found the strength to confront her own demons and pursue her long-dormant dreams. With newfound determination, Sarah enrolled in night classes, determined to pursue a career in social work, a path she had long yearned to explore but had never dared to pursue. As she delved deeper into her studies, she discovered a passion for helping others, a sense of purpose that had long eluded her. As Sarah forged on her journey of self-discovery, she found solace in the company of kindred spirits, fellow travelers on the road to redemption. Together, they navigated the twists and turns of life, buoyed by the knowledge that they were not alone. And though the road ahead was fraught with uncertainty, Sarah faced the future with a newfound sense of optimism and resilience, knowing that whatever challenges lay ahead, she would face them head-on, armed with the strength and courage she had cultivated along the way. As for me, I found solace in the simple pleasures of everyday life, surrounded by loved ones who offered unwavering support and companionship. Though the scars of our failed marriage would forever linger, I emerged from the ashes of our relationship with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. And as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, I found myself looking toward the future with a newfound sense of optimism and hope, knowing that whatever challenges lay ahead, I would face them with courage and resilience, buoyed by the love and support of those who stood by my side. One such figure was Emily's brother Michael, whose unwavering loyalty and steadfast support proved to be a source of strength for both Emily and me during the darkest days of our divorce. As our marriage unraveled, Michael emerged as a beacon of stability, offering sage advice and a listening ear to both of us as we navigated the choppy waters of separation. In the aftermath of our divorce, Michael remained steadfast in Emily's life, offering unwavering support and companionship as she embarked on her journey of self-discovery. With quiet strength and resilience, he stood by her side, a pillar of support in her times of need. Meanwhile, in my corner of the world, my sister Rachel emerged as a source of solace and companionship during our divorce. With empathy and understanding, she offered a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on as I navigated the rocky terrain of singlehood. In the following months, Rachel became my confidant and trusted ally, accompanying me on large and small adventures as I rediscovered myself in the wake of our failed marriage. Together, we forged new memories and shared laughter and tears, finding solace in the bonds of family. My journey through a tumultuous divorce unveils layers of complexity, exposing truths about my ex-wife, Emily, and our shared past. Initially, I was enamored by her quiet and calm nature, but over time I struggled to understand her emotional distance and sudden transformation when she reconnected with an old high school friend. It turned out that they had a relationship in the past, which stirred feelings of betrayal and uncertainty within me, forcing me to delve into my own soul in search of understanding. This journey proved to be difficult, as I faced a whole spectrum of emotions, from jealousy and insecurity to compassion and resilience. Despite the upheaval, I found solace in the unwavering support of loved ones and the opportunity for personal growth. Meanwhile, Emily embarked on her own path of self-discovery, exploring the complexities of newfound freedom and hidden truths about herself. Secondary characters play an important role in this story. Emily's steadfast friend Sarah and my caring sister Rachel provide invaluable help and support amidst the chaos. Their presence underscores the importance of friendship and family bonds during tough times, serving as beacons of light in the darkest moments of our lives. As the story unfolds, both Emily and I emerge from the ashes of our failed marriage with newfound clarity and determination. Although the scars of the past remain, we look to the future with optimism and readiness to face new challenges. Through moments of pain and triumph, we discover the transformative power of self-awareness and the enduring strength of human connections. Ultimately, this story becomes a poignant reminder of the intricate nature of love and relationships. Despite our trials, we find redemption and renewal, proving that even in the darkest times, there is always hope for a brighter tomorrow. The divorce, difficult as it was, became not just an end, but the beginning of a new chapter in life, filled with self-discovery and restoration. We realize that true happiness and fulfillment come not only from relationships with others, but from a deep understanding and acceptance of ourselves. In this new stage of life, I finally found the opportunity to truly understand myself and my desires. I began to appreciate the small things in life, discovering new hobbies and interests that had previously been overshadowed by family responsibilities. Emily, in turn, also started rebuilding her life anew, free from the constraints of the past. Her quest for self-truth led to unexpected revelations, allowing her to become stronger and more confident. The support from Sarah and Rachel proved invaluable on this journey. Their advice, involvement, and simple willingness to listen became an anchor that kept us afloat during the toughest moments. These relationships showed us that even when it feels like the whole world is falling apart, there are people ready to support and help us get back on our feet. Thus, our divorce, however painful and destructive this chapter of our lives was, became a catalyst for profound change and personal growth. We both became stronger, wiser, and better prepared for the challenges the future holds. The story of our family, filled with both bitter and bright moments, will forever remain with us, reminding us that love and relationships require constant effort and self-discovery, but ultimately, it is a path leading to light and hope.